can't believe it's Christmas Day already. I hope Santa's been. Presents, 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 presents.
Happy Christmas, Big Mike.
Wow, Tony and Liam, from the podcast. Are you my present this year?
No, Big Mike. We thought since all our listeners have been so good this year, we should give them a bonus episode as a gift.
That's a great idea. But does that mean that Santa didn't bring me my Turbo Man doll?
No, but he did bring you Jingle All the Way on VHS.
Yay!
Oh, then let's just get into it.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Right, lads, I don't know how you got into my house, but Merry Christmas. Let's get this review on the road.
That was a great movie, wasn't it, that we just watched?
Jingle All the Way. We just watched it all together in the space of that 30-second jingle.
All the way.
I have a question before we get started, lads. Is Jingle All the Way the greatest Christmas movie that was ever made, or is it the Santa Claus?
That's a tough question.
Definitely not Santa Claus.
See, they're my two favourite Christmas movies, I'd say. That and Muppets Christmas Carol.
Mine too, by far.
I do enjoy Jingle All the Way. Muppets Christmas Carol's good as well.
Yeah.
I like Die Hard as well.
I still haven't seen it.
I'm not a big fan of Santa Claus that much. Jingle All the Way is great because it's the Terminator, you know.
Yeah, Arnie.
Are you a big Arnie fan?
I mean, things really took a turn after Jingle All the Way for him.
Yeah.
How did he turn into Terminator? Like, all the world just disintegrated and he...
Well, surely it was after the Terminator, no?
I've absolutely no idea, to be honest. In my mind, no.
1996, this film came out.
Yeah, post-Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
It's an hour and 29 minutes, and it got a 5.6 on IMDb.
That is.
Yeah, so not actually that popular.
Yeah, but IMDb probably wasn't even out until, like, after that was outdated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you think people would have great memories about it then?
Yeah.
I think it's got a cult following now. I don't know if it was so popular at the time.
Pretty big budget movie. So the budget on this movie was $75 million.
Well, just the parade alone, like.
Holy shit. Yeah, well, to be fair, Cat in the Hat was there.
And like,
Don't they got the actual Cat in the Hat for it, though.
to put that into perspective,
Go on.
The Purge Anarchy was about $10 million.
Jesus Christ.
I'd say half of that went to the Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger, by the way.
Yeah, Jesus, he would have been like... He would have made a good bit of money off that. I wonder what he made just from his appearance in that movie.
I'd say about 65 million.
But when you think about today's currency as well, like...
But they would have had a toy specifically made for it and everything, like...
Well, to be fair, like, they legitimately made a range of action figures from this fucking movie, like.
So it's directed by Brian Levant, who directed Beethoven and the two Flintstones movies.
Uh-huh.
There was 2 Flintstone movies.
Mm-hmm. Viva Rock Vegas, how could you forget?
Mm-hmm.
And it was produced by Chris Columbus, who directed Home Alone 1 and 2, Mrs. Doubtfire, and the first 2 Harry Potter films. So, I mean, both these lads
And he famously
know how to do...
found America, so...
Both these lads know how to do big family blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
It's pretty big... That blows my mind, actually. I didn't know that.
Okay, so when we start the movie, we start with the Turbo Man scene. So straight away, I think like, wow, this is gonna be a great movie. You know, it's like it's a Power Rangers parody. That's brilliant. Yeah, I really loved Power Rangers growing up.
Power Rangers would have been massive at the time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, huge. So Turbo Man is in a red suit. He looks a bit like the Flash, and Booster, who's his sidekick, he's a big pink, like a cat, or is he a bear?
He's like
Finding Neverland. Not Finding Neverland. What? A Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, he's like that. He's like a cross between the whatever that was in Never-Ending Story and a saber-toothed tiger. That's what I imagine he is.
So the baddie is called the Mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So took that out of Harry Potter a few years before she used it.
Yeah. Pluck that out of her sick little mind. Thanks for the fucking sponsor again this week, JK.
Where did she get that idea from, huh?
Yeah. Big brain, just like the Mentor.
Yeah, and Chris Columbus, who directed the movie years after she wrote it, he was involved in this.
Yeah.
I smell conspiracy.
Yep.
That's going to be my conspiracy theory in a couple of weeks, lads.
Don't give it away now.
So Dementor takes Billy up to a high cliff and dangles him over the edge. Turbo Man, and this is the twist where we find out why he's called Turbo Man, uses his jetpack to fly up and save Billy.
It's turbo time.
So the camera pulls out and we realise that it's a little boy watching the show. So the little boy called Jamie. And do you recognise him from anything else?
No.
Yeah, he isn't something else.
Is he in Breaking Bad or something? He looks like a fucking junkie. He looks like a kid who grew up to be a junkie.
You're gonna feel bad.
Why? He died of an overdose.
No, he's Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars. So he's a young Darth Vader.
There it goes.
So he did this in 1996, and he was in Star Wars in 1999.
Wow.
And do you know what he's doing now?
Mesh?
This is a game of what is he doing now?
Selling t-shirts.
So Tony thinks selling t-shirts.
Buying t-shirts.
Interesting. So he retired from acting in 2001 due to bullying at school and harassment from the press.
Man, I feel so bad.
You see, I thought you were going to say, I assume he's still acting. Then it'd be like, he retired not long after this. Not like buying and selling t-shirts.
Tell us what happened, this poor kid. Come on.
He now suffers quite badly from paranoid schizophrenia and has had quite a bit of trouble with the law, including one time when he was reported to have verbally and physically abused his mother.
Fucking hell, we'll do that to you though.
Sorry, did you think that was going to be a funny story I was going to tell about?
God, it was going to be hilarious. I thought it was going to be real. It's Christmas Day,
Actually,
everybody.
it gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling. It really reminds me of Christmas.
So Turbo Man says his catchphrase, "You can always count on me."
That's his catchphrase. I thought "It's Turbo Time" was his catchphrase.
He has a lot of catchphrases, all stored in a mega chip.
My favourite thing about the actual scene before it pans out to the living room is when the kid in the scene says, "Booster?" Like Booster's his mate and not Turbo Man's sidekick.
Yeah.
That's like, for me, that's one of the best bits in the movie, and it's about fucking a minute and a half in. It's like, "Booster?" He's like, "Of course you're here because you're my friend."
Maybe that's like the origin story of Booster, how he came to be with Turbo Man.
But it was the president's son, wasn't it?
Yeah, president's son.
So maybe. But he already had a giant T on his chest. So
what Booster did?
Yeah.
All right. So Jamie's mother comes into the scene, and she's played by Rita Wilson. Do you know who Rita Wilson is in other things?
Is she Cersei Lannister?
So she played Frasier and Niles' mother in Frasier. So Frasier and Darth Vader have the same mother, if you think about it.
That's fucked up.
Hey,
but
there's up Darth Vader at the moment.
There's a load of incest in Star Wars.
So she was also in My Big Fat Greek Wedding too.
Yeah.
Jamie is upset because his dad isn't home yet, and he's going to miss him getting his belt. So, like at this stage, were you thinking that he was going shopping for a nice belt to match his shoes, or was he going to go fight Mike Tyson for the heavyweight title belt?
I thought he was going to send the kid off to make the belt.
Did you? Sweatshops. You thought this movie is... If there's one thing this movie is missing, it's the sweatshop.
Oliver Twist style.
So Jamie's mom says that his dad is probably just working really hard. So there's a big party in the office. But to be fair, Arnie is working. He's actually at work. He's not really involved in the party. He's taking orders from customers. His secretary comes in with sheets of paper reminding him about Jamie's karate lesson. So at least now we know that Jamie isn't going to be fighting The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell, and it's a karate belt instead.
I just love when he's like, I'm going to make it. And then she does the trope of all 90s kids movies. He's not going to make it. It's perfect.
He ends up, because he's telling everyone that they're his number one customer, he ends up telling his wife on the phone that she's his number one customer. I don't know what that means, but it's a bit fucked up.
Oh, it was just like...
I do that all the time.
You tell Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife in the movie Jingle All the Way that she's...
all the time.
I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and I had to answer the phone so many times a day that I ended up just picking up my own phone in the evening saying, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Mike speaking, how can I help? And then I usually follow that up with just lots of crying. This is the best Christmas ever, lads. Light and frothy, that's how we're keeping it here.
Like our hot chocolates that we're having.
At the karate lesson. Karate? Karate? Karate.
Yeah.
At the karate lesson, Arnie's wife is sat next to her neighbour Ted. And he's played by Phil Hartman. And do you know what else he's in?
Simpsons.
He is. He's not Flanders, is he?
He's Lionel Hutz.
Yes. He kind of reminds me of Flanders, though, which is even funnier. Not just because he's the neighbour, just because he's the annoying neighbour.
Yeah, he's annoying, but less in a, like, Flanders is less rapey. That's what I feel from Flanders.
He's so rapey, like.
If you could say one thing about Flanders, it's probably that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sadly, Phil Hartman died 2 years after this.
Really?
Really?
So maybe this isn't such a fun-packed movie to cover after all on Christmas Day.
Just so much, like,
Jesus.
meth use.
There's no more Jingle all the
Schizophrenia.
way. His Jingle stopped after 2 years.
Oh.
So Ted is getting all kinds of attention from the local ladies. He's repairing things in their house, and they are repaying him with treats. But Arnie's wife is rolling her eyes and pulling faces, so she's not too impressed by him.
No, that don't impress her much.
Arnie's stuck in traffic, but he has a genius idea to drive in the hard shoulder. So he's undertaking all the other cars. Does that make him the Undertaker now?
Hopefully he's not going to fight his son, because he's a massive man.
So he says, I'm going to make it, even though the lesson's half over.
And the secretary has also told him that he wasn't.
So he gets pulled over by a cop. We go back to the karate lesson there, and Jamie is using the force to break a block with his hand.
Uh-huh.
And he wins a purple belt. And I was going to say, Liam, me and you have done similar things on nights when we've been drunk in our flat. Like, where's our belt?
Exactly.
We've broken loads of stuff with our fists. Like, no one gave us a nice purple belt after that.
He's just woke up with purple.
Yeah, purple wrists.
Purple hands.
Purple wrists.
So Jamie looks at the crowd and he's gutted that his dad didn't make it. Arnie arrives when there's no cars outside, the lights are off in the school, and he's just so excited because he thinks he's made it. What do you think that did for Arnie's character in the film? That scene
made him look very trustworthy.
It's
like you can keep a secret.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of Scott Calvin, who is Tim Allen's character in the Santa Claus. Poor father he was.
Liam, what movie did you watch?
He didn't do anything wrong, though.
No, he didn't. He was trying. That's the thing. Like this.
Unlike Scott Calvin.
Like Scott Calvin, Tim Allen. Is it Tim Allen?
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Tim Allen's character. That's how Mike is losing his mind. Let's get back into it.
So Arnie gets home and he finds Ted on his roof putting up Christmas lights, and he is not impressed.
But why would he, like?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Like, I'd be pretty angry as well. It's like, what?
Such a cunt as well. And he's a brave bastard, like.
But he has extra lights.
But he's so brave, like.
Yeah,
it's
'cause
fucking
it's Arnie,
Arnold
like.
Schwarzenegger. What are you thinking? Don't be cracking on to his missus, like.
So Arnie goes to speak to Jamie, and he's apologising. And there's an add-on for the Turbo Man toy. And this is kind of like Chekhov's Turbo Man figure. Because, you know, this figure actually comes up later on in the film.
Yeah.
So Jamie is pretty upset with Arnie. But it's good for Arnie that he wasn't too upset. Because, like, with his new karate skills, he could have taken him out. So we go into Jamie's room, and he's, like, reading a Turbo Man comic book. He's got a Hulk mask and Marvel bedding. And, like, so it's all Tony's fellow Avengers all over the room. So Are you happy to see them, Tony? All your friends?
Oh, yeah, all my buddies. Teaming up.
But, like, Jamie he's been given a lot of nice stuff for the superheroes he likes.
Yeah.
You know, and like, Turbo Man isn't obviously the only thing he likes. He must just be kind of the new hot thing.
Yeah. The kid's fucking obsessed, though, isn't he? He needs to take a step back from the obsession, though.
Yeah.
No, but he does. He sees too much. Like, look at it psychologically. Hey, that's madness.
Do you know that this film it was based on the 80s craze of the Cabbage Patch Kids?
And Power Rangers.
Well, I think Turbo Man was kind of based on Power Rangers, but the idea of they're kind of rushing to the stores and everything.
And what's funny is that the popular toy the year it was released was Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah.
And the people were obsessed with that, like.
And there was an Elmo in one of the toy stores.
Oh, was there? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the right one. So, Arnie offers to make it up to Jamie by getting him something he really wants for Christmas. And Jamie's like, I already got it covered. I told Santa what I wanted. And he recites off the Turbo Man ad and says that anyone who doesn't get one is going to be a real loser.
I like how he says, he names a friend and then says, and all my other friends are getting it. So it's like me saying, Tony, and all my other friends. Like, you could have just said all my friends, but no.
Because he doesn't have any other friends.
He doesn't, yeah, he's covering that up. So.
Oh, fuck off. Christmas Day, the fuck. So, Arnie is back in the room now telling Liz how great it is that him and Jamie made up. And she asks him, did he pick up the Turbo Man doll 2 weeks ago when she asked him? And then we get the, like, brilliant crash zoom into Arnie's face when he realizes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that meme. It was at this moment that he knew he had fucked up.
It was jarring, like it was just too much.
Yeah. So Arnie plays it cool and he pretends he's got it and he recites the ad but really badly.
But good enough for her, yeah.
Yeah. And so he's obviously planning on getting one the next day. But then again, he's shocked when Liz says they'd be impossible to find now.
You get another, like, scan into his face, dimly lit room.
Yeah.
Shock.
So the next morning, what's Jamie eating for breakfast?
Turbo Man cereal.
And what's he wearing?
Turbo Man PJs.
He fucking loves Turbo Man, to be fair.
He's obsessed, I'm telling you, it's too much.
So Arnie heads out to buy the toy, and we find out that it's Christmas Eve. And Jamie tells him not to miss the Wintertainment Parade, which is a great name.
Which they go to every year. As a family, it's fair enough that he doesn't want them to.
Yeah. It's good that Jamie gives us some exposition there. Like, we go every year. It's kind of a tradition. If you let me down again,
that
Dad.
to father, like.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Thank you for clearing that up, son.
So, Ted's bought a reindeer for his son. I'd just like to remind people here that a reindeer is for life and not just for Christmas.
Unless he wants to meet.
Jesus.
Like Old Yeller, you know?
They didn't eat Old Yeller.
No, you don't know that.
They
That's
put him
the
down
part.
because he was in pain.
Yeah, but you could just tell the son. show the son Old Yeller and then go, yeah, that's what happened to
Oh, okay.
Randy.
So, Ted tells Arnie that he got Johnny a Turbo Man months ago and that it's nestled safely under the tree. Arnie gets to the shop and skips the queue. Just pushes in front of everyone. And then he says to the guy in the shop, there's 100 people out here. So he's just pushed in front of 100 people. To be fair, they push him back. And then we meet Myron. So he's played by Sinbad.
Sinbad.
Had you heard of Sinbad outside of this movie?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sinbad from that movie that never existed, Shazam.
Yeah. Apparently he was in a lot of things around this time, but I've never seen him in anything else.
He wasn't in loads.
Myron is there to get a Turbo Man too. So they get into the shop and the man at the door gets trampled. He's even got like a big dirty shoe mark on his face. It's pretty lucky that he's still alive. Like he could have just got murdered there.
It's like Black Friday.
Like Black Christmas. You ever see that movie?
I haven't seen it.
A lot of murder at Christmas time. Would have been similar.
To this?
Well, like similar to the murder, just with the murder and the Christmas themes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people are in the shop about 5 seconds and there's entire aisles of toys being knocked over. The Turbo Man dolls are already sold out. And here's where we hear our first Booster slamming. Someone says, Booster? Who wants Booster?
Oh, that's not nice, though. Because Booster seems great, like.
He does, but he's not very popular.
Oh.
It's not fair.
It isn't fair, is it,
It's not
Tom?
fair. It gives us bad signal to kids as well.
Yeah,
It's a kids' movie.
Yeah, don't like saber-toothed tigers that are pink and stand on 2 feet.
I'm going to message Christopher Columbus and tell him,
What are you going to tell him?
excuse me, Christopher Columbus, you didn't sail around the world all to...
All to just put down fucking pink saber-toothed tigers that stand on 2 feet. Sorry, thank you very much.
So Arnie asks one of the staff members for a Turbo Man. And everyone in the shop laughs at him. And I just think that's quite poor customer service, to be honest.
This
It's a
universe...
bit ridiculous.
This universe they live in, like, everybody is like a cartoon character.
Yeah. So they do say that they still have plenty of Booster. So at this stage, if you were Arnie, would you not buy a Booster and a Dementor just to have them?
He seems to be willing to pay anything for this doll.
Yeah.
So, yes, you'd buy those two for sure, like.
And maybe 10 more toys, like just while you're there, just in case you can't get Turbo Man. So you have something to go home with.
Yeah, it seems like a plot hole, to be honest.
So they find out that a woman has just got the last one. So Arnie and Myron both race out the door. Like, are they planning on mugging her?
Well, they're planning on doing what Arnie does, I guess.
I mean, why is an old woman buying a Turbo Man anyway? You gotta ask questions there, like.
Why is Arnie buying a fucking Turbo Man?
For her grandchildren.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe her children. She wasn't that old.
She wasn't the right woman either, was she, Mike? Bloody tell us about that.
Well, what woman wasn't the right one?
The woman he approaches and fucking buys the bag off of.
What? I didn't get that scene. There's a scene where he buys a bag off someone.
Yeah, he approaches a woman in... they say she's wearing a fur coat. He approaches a woman wearing a beret and a white fur coat. Mm-hmm. And he says, I'll give you double what you paid for the bag. And she thinks he's hitting on her. And she's like, oh, it'll cost you your number, or do you want my number, or something like this. And he pays double for what she got for the bag. And he gives her the bag, and he's like, oh, it's Booster? Fuck this. And then he sees the woman in the car.
Driving with Turbo Man.
Yeah. And she looks older than the woman he met on the street.
I genuinely didn't see that part.
I think I must have seen I think there is an extended version. Well, yeah, I think there is an extended version. And
So, in the kerfuffle to get out of the shop, Myron and Arnie are knocking each other over. And when Myron falls over, everyone's post goes everywhere because he's a postman.
Yeah.
And I wonder, is that what happened to some of my Amazon packages this year? Because they're taking ages to come.
What, did Sinbad misplace them in a kerfuffle in a shop?
Yeah, I doubt anybody's in a shop at the moment doing that.
And I still can't work out when Arnie's chasing the car what his plan is.
Well, well, I can tell you his plan because I watched the extended version, Mike. And he intends on paying double for the figure in the back of the car when he stops her. Yeah. Wow. We've got some real insight.
Depending how much the figure costs, that doesn't seem like it'd be worth it.
Yeah, not if she's actually bought it for someone as a nice present.
And she had it on reserve as well, like.
Yeah. And she made a trip especially to get it.
Probably wasn't that expensive, like.
So we get a montage now of Arnie going into different toy stores. And this would have been my plan first before I started chasing old ladies, to be honest. We see people showing him Booster and Dementor toys and laughing at him. But what's funny is that they're loose figures. So, like, did the staff in the shop take them out of the packaging, especially to mock him? Like?
Yeah. Oh, but the staff in this movie just seem fucking terrible everywhere, like.
But it's tough being retail staff at Christmas, so maybe they've just lost it. Like,
of course it is. I think whoever wrote this had worked in retail, and they were kind of portraying what they would have liked to have been able to do.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
So every shop is shelves full of Booster and Dementor, and no one wants them. Arnie beats the shit out of a cardboard cutout, and like here. Wouldn't he have been better trying to get the cardboard cutout and like buy that or take that home as
That's
something?
Exactly what I thought. If he's about to destroy it, he would have been better off stealing it and taking it.
Because it has like a mechanical waving arm. Like it'd be really cool for Jamie's room.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought.
We're back in Arnie's house now, and Johnny and Jamie are fighting over who gets to be Turbo Man when they're playing. But to be honest, Johnny looks a bit more like a Booster anyway, you know. Ted doesn't seem to be content with having every other woman in the neighborhood coming on to him. So he's trying to steal Arnie's wife, which is not something I would personally do.
I think it's fucking idiotic.
You want what you can't have, huh?
Yeah, I suppose there's an element to that, Ted. Like, why would you pick a fucking Austrian fucking bodybuilder?
Austrian Greek god.
Yeah, Austrian bodybuilder who lives across the street from you. Like, why wouldn't you go to fucking, like, some skinny cunt who lives at the other side of town? And
it's the danger, you know?
I don't know. He's fucking brave, I'll give him that.
So Arnie calls the house and Ted answers. And Arnie is not happy that Ted's eating his cookies.
Classic line, really. It's a classic line.
It's a bit outrageous, like, you know what I mean? It's a little bit outrageous. I'm sure it's not the cookie thing, like.
You think they're hinting at something else here, Tony?
Seems to be.
Get your hands out of my wife's cookies.
Yeah. Can't keep his hand out the cookie jar.
So Arnie runs into Myron again, moving swiftly onwards. Myron wants them to team up, but Arnie is having none of it. And then Myron tells Arnie he's a racist.
What?
Just thought that was interesting.
Does Myron say that?
Yeah, he tells Arnie he's racist. It's I'm okay to talk to in the line, but I'm not okay to team up with. That's racist.
Oh.
A random man who's passing by shouts that they got a delivery of Turbo Man at Toy Works. And in the rush to get there, Arnie knocks over the cop's scooter. So I think is it the same cop who stopped him earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, Arnie still gets there in time. But they have a lottery system for who gets to buy a Turbo Man. The guy in the shop says that they still have plenty of Turbo Man's pet tiger Booster in stock. The people actually boo when he says that.
I do it.
So the balls that they're using for the lottery get thrown up in the air with all the pushing. And suddenly everyone's scrabbling around, fighting on the floor, like just to get a chance at getting a chance to buy one of the figures for double the price.
Double the price. And did you see the retail workers' faces again? They winked at each other like they were getting one over on the customers. Like, like they're benefiting from it. Like,
oh, we got this.
I made a note that this is obviously before Amazon. And speaking of Amazon, like seriously, where are my packages? So there's another load of cardboard cutouts in the window there. So Arnie could have just had one of them. Jamie would have loved it. There's a pretty ridiculous scene where Arnie chases a little girl through the shopping centre. And again, all he's trying to get is like an entry into the lottery. It's not even a definite figure. It's like almost definitely not a figure probably. Because there was hundreds of those balls and there's like probably about 30 of the figures at most. So then Arnie runs into a dodgy mall Santa who tells him that he can get him a Turbo Man.
Jim Belushi.
And they drive into this like horrible industrial estate. And in the warehouse, everyone is dressed up as Santa or Mrs. Claus or the elves.
Mm-hmm.
And so this must be where all the mall Santas come together to sell bootleg toys. So they charge Arnie $300 for the Turbo Man. And he opens it up and it's in Spanish, which doesn't seem too bad. And then he opens the box and it just all falls to pieces.
Bootleg Turbo Man's like, what?
So Arnie just starts fighting them. There's like hundreds of them in there and he just starts scrapping them.
Do you know one of them?
Well, it's the Big Show. So the giant one he fights is the Big Show. And the little Santa who Big Show hits across the room, do you know who that is?
That's Vernon.
Yeah, Mini-Me himself.
What's his second name, Vernon?
It's Vern Troyer.
Vern Troyer, that's it, sorry.
Just as they pile on to Arnie, the police break in. And Arnie pretends to be one of them with a toy badge. And again, right, he should have grabbed one of the bootleg toys on his way out. Say it's evidence. But, he leaves with nothing. He leaves that whole warehouse with no toy.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of his bootlegging it fall apart?
Well, it's better than out.
That's true.
He surely doesn't think he's going home with one now, like.
Well, he's still holding on to hope, I guess.
So his car runs out of fuel on a bridge, and he pushes it all the way to, like, this little diner. He goes into the diner, and Myron's in there, and they kind of make up a bit. And then they hear on the radio that you can win a Turbo Man by naming all of Santa's reindeer. And the two of them start fighting again.
Mm-hmm.
So as they're running down towards the radio station, Myron jettisons his mail out because it's weighing him down. And at this point, I'm like, seriously, Amazon, where is my package? Arnie gets the radio station and smashes at the door in. It's like, this movie just starts escalating around this point, I think. Do it starts off as like family fun, and now it's like Arnie's just smashing down doors and radio stations.
But the thing with Arnie and Sinbad is like they were kind of becoming friends until there was a chance that one of them could get the toy, and then they were like fucking enemies again. Like,
yeah.
Was it Dasher, Prancer, Breeze?
yeah, he's singing it. He's saying it as he goes down the street.
The DJ, the radio DJ, is played by Martin Mull. Do you know what else he's in?
Sabrina.
Yeah, he's the principal in Sabrina Teenage Witch.
That's what I recognised him from anyway.
He's in other stuff, but like,
he's not in the new Sabrina though, because that's too raunchy for him.
Nah. Too grim.
He's probably dead too, Zev.
That's funny. Like.
So,
I just mean this movie seems to have bad look.
yeah.
Myron has a fucking bomb. So Myron has a little breakdown and then he drops the parcel and we find out it's actually a music box and not a bomb. The cops arrive again, so they're following Arnie around and they're about to arrest the two lads when Myron pretends that another parcel is a bomb. So the two of them escape, and the cop from earlier, he picks up the package and he's like, oh, we've been duped. But then it actually explodes. It was a bomb. And somehow it didn't kill anyone.
Because it's a fucking cartoon movie.
Yeah.
Where it just like spikes up your hair and makes your face black, you know?
Oh, that could happen though.
Didn't go according to
Kids,
plan.
if you're listening, it's okay.
Then Sinbad's like, it's a sick, sick world.
Yeah.
So Arnie gets back to his car and finds that it's been stripped down. The people who stole all the parts of his car, though, they were nice enough to leave a little spray paint Happy Xmas on the windscreen.
Xmas cunts.
So even at this point, if Arnie had got a Turbo Man or a Booster and a Dementor or a Spanish bootleg Turbo Man, it probably would have been robbed at this stage anyway.
Yeah.
Except if it was a Booster, that would have been left behind. So after a long, tough day, Arnie finally gets home. The car gets towed home. And he sees Ted through his window putting the star on his tree. And he is fucking livid.
He's furious.
So, at this point, Arnie decides to break into Ted's house and steal his Turbo Man. And this would not be a bonus episode of the Would You Rather podcast without a Would You Rather question.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Would you rather break into Ted's house and steal his child's toy, or just accept that you didn't get the toy and deal with the consequences?
Absolutely deal with the consequences.
Yeah. You don't,
Jesus, you couldn't be breaking in someone's house. That
No.
sounds like a pure anxiety attack in the first place.
Like, I know Ted was being a cunt to him, like, you know, he's an absolute asshole, but, like, that doesn't give you the right to break in and take Christmas
So
away
ruining-
from a kid. Like.
Yeah, you're older a kid. You're taking...
And he was never going to get away with it. Ever.
No.
And he was never going to forget about it. You know, that'd never leave your mind
No.
that you stole that toy from that boy. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
That could be the Christmas that changes that kid, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he was a little asshole as well, though, to be fair. He was a bit of a little shit.
Oh, he was.
Probably
yeah,
good.
you
should have left coal wrapped in a box for him.
in the Turbo Man wrapping paper. The awesome Turbo Man wrapping paper.
Yeah. I mean, the money they spent on this movie.
Like, at this stage, isn't there probably a warrant out for his arrest after, like, the whole vandalism and terrorism thing?
Don't know, he's not very recognisable.
Yeah, he's just a fucking 6'5" Austrian man.
Like, Arnie has proper ruined his life today. Like, he has fucked it all up.
Yeah.
So Arnie has a change of heart. And he decides to put the doll back when the reindeer attacks him.
This.
And Ted has this really cool, like, life-size nativity scene in his living room. And Arnie knocks that one of the wise men's heads go into the fire and nearly burns down the whole fucking house.
But come back to what you said about what Sinbad said to him. Did you notice which wise man it was, Mike? It was the black wise man.
Oh.
That he knocked into the fire. Maybe he is a racist.
Maybe he is a racist and a terrorist and a vandal.
Maybe he's the worst thing to ever come out of Austria.
He is Austrian, I was just about to get there. Jeez, that's gas.
Oh.
Too soon, man.
Fucking Christmas episode, guys.
Anyway, yeah. And then fucking Arnie punches a fucking reindeer in the face.
Yeah, new version of Fight Club. Jeez, he's done a lot.
Nice bit of animal cruelty here.
He punched a camel in the face when he was Conan the Barbarian.
Did he?
Yeah, he just loves punching animals in the face. Big quadrupeds. He just loves punching them right in their stupid fucking faces.
So Arnie gets caught. And Ted says Arnie can't bench press his way out of this one. And it's funny because I read on IMDb that they were actually considering Tim Allen to play Howard in this. And would they have used that line if it was Tim Allen? You can't bench press your way out of this one. Possibly not.
Possibly. Maybe they wrote the line with him in mind.
After Arnie's bit of animal cruelty where he knocks out a reindeer, they end up making up and sharing a few beers, which I'd like to point out is also animal cruelty.
Not at all. If the animal drinks it, it's not.
Yeah. He's not being forced. Like.
So we're at the parade now. It's pretty class. Everyone's there. Like Bert and Ernie, Madeline, Sonic, some crayons, the Cat in the Hat. And when they see the Cat in the Hat, Johnny and Jamie high-five each other. They're so happy.
Like, oh my god, Cat in the Hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saw fucking Sonic, you dweeb. He's way cool. Obviously, again, Sonic brings back bad memories for me, but...
Jeez, you won't like my Christmas present to you this year.
More animal cruelty. He spray painted a hedgehog blue.
And put him inside a Sega.
So Ted is coming on hard to Liz, and Liz smacks him over the head with a flat.
Yeah, like too much.
Yeah. Do you think he went too far there? Do you think that's the...
Yeah, that was his downfall.
That was his downfall. Yeah. Arnie is hiding from the cops in a random building, and they mistake him for the guy who's there to play Turbo Man. So did you hear what they said about the original guy who's playing Turbo Man?
Hilarious. Like...
He's showing brain activity, which is really good, is what he said.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so the original guy had an accident, and they think they worked out all the kinks.
It's genius, like, it's so good.
We meet Booster, and it turns out he actually is an asshole, so everyone was right not to like him. The guy who plays Booster is horrible.
Oh, he's in something else as well. I can't think of what it is.
I think it was the Turbo Man show.
I actually don't think he was that bad, to be honest. Like, later he gives Arnie some good advice, like, which isn't...
Yeah, he gets better once he puts on the costume, I think.
Yeah.
So the announcers at the parade say that Turbo Man will pick a special child to get a limited edition Turbo Man doll. And then I thought, it's the Chase variant, lads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of one Chase variant.
It's fucking giant as well. So big.
Arnie doesn't hear that, so he's just celebrating with the doll. He's like, do you know that meme? And it's like, he's like, is for me?
Yeah, which Booster told him he should be holding.
Yeah, it was just helping him out. So when he realizes he has to give it to a kid, he obviously picks Jamie. And this would have been such a nice ending to the film, but it goes on, it gets darker from here. So Jamie gets on the float, is so hyped for the toy that he doesn't even recognize his dad.
Insane.
And interestingly here, Arnie starts to say, I am your father, in like a deep robotic voice from under a mask.
Wow.
Just like Darth Vader does. But Jamie doesn't even play the Darth Vader character for a few years later.
Wow, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, funny. So Myron has brutally attacked the actor who is playing Dementor and stolen his costume.
Brutally attacked him with tinsel.
The worst kind of attack, really. He tells Booster that no one likes him and knocks him off the float. And a load of kids run up and start kicking him. So like they fucking hate Booster.
I didn't even notice that.
They just run up and start kicking him out of nowhere.
He's meant to be like the friendly, like sidekick.
He's so nice.
It feels like the filmmakers went too far with that joke.
Yeah. He's gonna end up turning into a villain, like.
So Myron, who's dressed as the Dementor, tries to abduct Jamie. Arnie uses his disc attack to knock him back, and then Jamie kicks him in the balls.
Yeah, and the crowd goes mental for that. Like, I want to know what the crowd thought was happening.
Yeah,
because he's supposed to be a random kid.
Yeah,
who's just come up onto the floor, and then he's just kicked this other actor in the bollocks, and the fucking crowd love it. Like, I don't get it.
So Arnie is the fighting off Dementor's minions. But, like, it seems like an actual fight. So, like, were they baddies as well, or...?
Yeah, they were like... They say something like, did you not read the script?
Yeah.
But it's like, so just fall over, you know? Like, when he touches you, fall over, because that's what happened in the movie, like, in the trailer.
So, Myron chases Jamie onto the roof of a building, and Arnie flies using a real jetpack, and he's not very good at it.
This scene is just outrageous.
So it looks like they didn't quite work out all the kinks. So like, so loads of shit happens, and he ends up landing on the ground, having not helped Jamie at all. So Myron has chased Jamie up this big kind of Christmas tree decoration that's now broken and leaning out over the street. The two of them are hanging on for dear life, and Myron's still trying to get the fucking Turbo Man. Like
he's obsessed as well. Everyone's obsessed with it.
At this point, Myron has gone from like a bit silly to like actually evil. Like he's trying to kill the little boy.
Yeah.
So Arnie uses his turbo rang and just throws it at them. And luckily he doesn't hit Jamie. Look, considering they're right next to each other.
And he missed. He missed both of them.
So it comes back and hits Myron. And Arnie's delighted, even though it looks like Myron's about to fall to his death. Like, sure, he's actually happy. He's not like, oh, my son's still there, better help him or anything. Yes! Fucking killed him, didn't I? So Jamie falls, and Arnie seems to have got the hang of the jetpack, luckily. It saves him. And Liz is in such shock that she doesn't recognise her own husband.
That's insane.
I don't think it's shock.
I think she's just dumb, like.
He's usually in the suit and all, you know, like not that kind of suit. It's different.
So the cops arrest Myron and give the Turbo Man back to Jamie. And this is actually the part of the movie that I think kind of spoils the whole thing.
No, don't say that. It's Christmas.
Jamie just gives his toy to the man who was trying to kill him.
Well, that's called Christmas cheer, Mike.
It's very nice. He believes he's going to get it off Santa anyway. So
That's it. He's still waiting for it the next day. He's like, I don't need 2 of these.
But he then coined a meme, didn't he? He was like, I don't need Turbo Man. We got Turbo Man at home. And then Turbo Man at home. It's just his
Not
dad.
from the meme.
That's what a meme is. I
That
know what
is
memes
not
are.
the fucking meme at all. But yeah, Jamie says he doesn't need the doll because he does the real Turbo Man at home. Not some fucking bootleg fucking we've got McDonald's at home shit. So, did you stick around for the after credits scene?
always.
I feel like I did. I don't know. What was it?
So Arnie is at home. Like, this is at the end of all the credits. I had to fast forward to get to it, only because I read about it. I wouldn't have noticed. Arnie's putting the star up on the tree finally. They're all like happy and relaxed back at home. And Liz says, seeing all the effort you went to get Jamie's present, I wonder what you got for me.
Oh, yeah.
And so apparently this was hinting at a sequel.
Oh, really?
But like, it's nighttime on Christmas Eve. So like, how interesting would that sequel have been? Like, Arnie going to a 24-hour Tesco and getting some jewellery and a bottle of wine. Like, yeah.
I didn't know that was meant to lead to a sequel.
No, I didn't either. But there was a sequel, no?
No.
There was a sequel, Jingle All the Way 2, not starring Arnie.
No way.
And I'm thinking, lads,
Not starring Arnie, though.
what about next Christmas?
That's not a real thing.
So this time next year, lads, come join me here and we'll be reviewing Jingle All the Way 2 with a 1-year build.
Who's in that one?
Larry the Cable Guy.
Cook.
Cable Guys and Jim Carrey?
Nope, it's just some guy called Larry the Cable Guy.
Do you think that was like some kind of like show that was on? Like, is he a spin-off character from something else, or?
I reckon he's from like SNL or something. He seems like one of those. He's in a lot of movies, Larry the Cable Guy. He's pretty well known.
Okay.
Yeah, so they actually made a Turbo Man figure. And have you ever seen how much money they're going for?
I was actually going to ask this question, and the other two.
So the Turbo Man figures go for a lot of money. So I'm gonna do a live eBay and I'm gonna let you know how much they cost.
Okay. I imagine they go for quite a lot.
So you can actually get the cereal box that Jamie was using in the movie, the actual prop.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much that would be?
35 euro.
Actual movie used prop.
Movie used,
Oh,
probably.
the movie used prop. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. 250.
€390. So one of the Turbo Man doll in the box, but the box is in terrible condition. Guess how much?
€767.
560.
484.
Oh, you're closer.
And a loose one, so it's a 13.5-inch figure. Loose one is €439.
What?
Wow. I would have been 100 off there.
So it is one expensive toy.
Jesus Christ. How many were made, do you know?
I couldn't really find that information. It definitely doesn't seem like it was. I think it must have only been brought out as like a Comic-Con exclusive kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems like that.
They might have only made a few hundred. And I can't see any booster or Dementor.
But did there not seem to be a lot of them in the movie?
I reckon like that was like one Christmas. It came out before Christmas and they brought the line out, you know what I mean? Like all the toys that people could buy at Christmas.
Yeah.
I reckon. It's back in those days, that would definitely make sense. Like Comic-Con thing makes sense as well though.
Yeah.
But I think they're so rare that it couldn't have been like an actual thing they brought out.
Yeah, if they're that rare then you're probably right.
Because I've never seen them for less than that, you know? Like,
Well, it's 1996, like this quite old. And one Christmas, one batch. You wouldn't find many anyway.
but yeah, I've never seen a booster or a Dementor.
No way, really? Oh, well, then it's definitely Comic-Con.
I've seen pictures of them.
So they might be customs, like.
Yeah, maybe.
So from the get-go, filmmakers had planned real-life physical action figures based on the movie. The first figure to hit the market was Turbo Man. The production designer for the movie worked with Tim Flattery, who was a character designer and worked on Batman and Power Rangers. They conceived various designs for each of the characters that would be sold in stores. Flattery was also involved in the life-size suit used by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Of course, only the main character, Turbo Man, was released in stores. The villain wasn't, so it doesn't actually tell you really anything about it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Except that it was only Turbo Man. But yeah, it looked like it was released in stores.
That's disappointing. It's only Turbo Man.
Yeah, because I'd nearly rather have a booster.
Be more niche, like, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, was that the greatest Christmas film of all time?
I think it's one of, yeah.
I think it was the greatest Christmas film review of all time, for sure.
Easily. And here is the all-important question. What rating would you give Jingle All the Way out of 5 boosters?
Ooh. What boosters? We would need about fucking 15 boosters, like. You're talking boosters. Out of 5, I give it, in terms of Christmas movies, I give it a 4.5.
4.5, big rating from Tony.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite Christmas movies.
And Liam?
As far as Christmas movies go, I would also give it a 4.5.
I would give this movie 4 boosters out of 5.
You heard it here first.
Pretty close.
So that's it, lads. Hopefully everyone at home enjoyed their little surprise bonus episode. This is a free bonus episode, but like, it doesn't have to be free. You know, you could just send us some PayPal as a little Christmas gift.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, boys.
PayPal, friends and family. Yeah. So that's an option. Yeah. So let us know whether you would like to give us some PayPal money over on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Big Mike Pod.
Christmas.
But yeah, we hope you had a great Christmas. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we hope you got a nice booster doll for Christmas, even though they didn't release them. So from me, Big Mike, and these 2 silly elves, thanks, bye.
Thanks, bye.
See you now.
But seriously, guys, how did you get into my house?
You'll never know.
Turbo time.